Hi there, I'm Dale Mathis. I am in Sun City, Arizona, and today I am holding the Roland Digital Accordion. It is the model FR8X, and today we're going to do a little workshop on preparing a user program. So, what's a user program? A user program is a method on the 8X and the 4X where you can store every aspect of a sound and save it into memory so that you don't have to have a long process in the middle of a song or at the beginning of a song of looking up where are all these sounds. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do is look at the list in your accordion and see what might be available. So like if you've got an accordion from Crown Music, and we're going to use the 8X here as an example. In my first 30-some banks, I've got them all filled with settings that are already available and all programmed for you. So you need to look in your list, run through and see where you've got an empty spot. So I happen to know that for today's experiment workshop, that in bank 60 I don't have anything, so that bank is free, and so I can put anything in there that I want. So that's the first thing, is write down on a piece of paper where you're going to put your registration, because you don't want to write over something that you've already got that you don't want to lose. Alright, so that's number one, is figuring out where you're going to put something. So for me today, I'm going to use bank 60, and I'm going to use, let's use registrations number 3 and 4. They're both empty. So, alright, so I just turned the accordion on and I'm taking a listen. All right, so it's just a traditional startup. And so now the next thing I have to have a song in mind or a setting. So I have to think, well, how do I want to get there? So I'm going to use, you know, Could I Have This Dance as an example of setting up some registrations. But I'm going to do something much more simple because I made that a little complex with all of the settings that I used. So I'm going to use something more simple. First thing I don't want the accordion bass. So I need to turn on orchestra bass. And now, okay, that's a possibility. And I'm thinking I'm just going to do "Oh When the Saints." All right, so rather than that bass, I think I want one of the horns. So now I just have to go through my buttons over here. There's a piano. I think I'm going to go with that one. All right, got a little bit of a horn going there. And I could go with that accordion chord, but let's see what other possibilities. So I'm going to turn on the orchestra chord, and it always comes on the top button. Number 1 is the sound that you're hearing first time. So there's a piano, guitar, and you can look in your screen also on the 8X and you can see what sound has just been turned on because it'll pop up. It says tenor sax, French horn, a louder guitar, an organ, and a piano. Alright, let's go with that. I think that's going to work. And also, I'm wondering, how do the drums sound? Let's turn those on. Alright, for this song, that might be okay. So I'm going to leave them in. So now that I've got the left hand, now I have to decide, I'm going to pick out 3 registrations that I think are going to work well for this. So I've got the master accordion on already. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you know what, since I'm in this playing area down here, rather than using the presets 3, 4, and 5, which would cause me to have to move my hand, how about if I use registrations number 8, 9, and 10, since I know they are all empty and it'll be right in front of my hand and easy to grab. So, okay, we're going to go with that. So, that registration is going to be good for my first sound setting. So now I need to save it. So I already know that I'm going to save it in registration number 8. And so to do that, you're going to push the right button. This is the, and you're going to hold it. There you go. And I held it, and on my screen up on top here says write, and then it says please write to proceed, and then in the yellow it says system, and I don't want to save this to system, I want to save it to a user program. So I'm going to turn the rotary knob once, and it says save it to set. No, I'm not saving it to set. Turn the rotary knob another time to the right, and it says use a program, and that's what I want. So now I'm going to push right again, and now it's asking me where do I want to store it, and right now it came up with bank 1 number 1. Well, I don't want bank 1 number 1, so I've got to turn the bank is in yellow right now, so I've got to turn the rotary knob all the way up to bank 60. Let's get that. Alright, and then I'm going to click the rotary knob in once, and it says, do I want to save it in register number 1? No, I don't want to save it in register 1, I want it in number 8. So I have to move that up to number 8. Alright, we're good, and now I'm going to push the menu right button again, briefly. And now it says, do I want to name it? Well, okay. How you would name it is you would have to use, there's a little typewriter keyboard here, and you have to go through the process of, first you, just real quick to do this, push in the knob, and then the individual letters, I'm stumbling here, the individual letters are highlighted with a red square, and then you use the rotary knob to move that red square. So the first thing that I have to do is go to the back selector and pick that, and then I'm just going to, by pushing in the knob, I'm going to delete the title that's already in there, and then I'm just going to, for brevity here, I'm just going to go down to the little one that's where the numbers are, and I'm going to call this number 1. That's how my song's going to start. So there's the 1, and now you push the menu right button again, and it says that it saved it. Okay, and also on page 57 in the FR8X owner's manual is where all this information is, so you can kind of follow my steps here. All right, so now on user program, now I have to go up to that user program and make sure it's there. So I'm going to turn on the user program light, and then I'm going to do the quick step. Since my user program came up on number 1, setting number 1, well, I would have to crank through this knob forever and ever and ever to get up to bank number 60. So I'm just going to hold in the right arrow under the set button, and this is the jump to user program quick method. And so I'm going to insert using the knobs here, the register knobs. I'm going to go 6, and I'm going to use the number 10 for the 0, so 6, 0. And then hit number 8 when it skips here to what number do you want? 8. Alright, and so let's go up to number 8. And it says number 1. Okay, so I've got it saved. Okay, so I've got my first part of the settings done. So now I want to go to what do I want for a next sound. So I'm going to turn off the user program, and now I'm going to pick out a new sound. So I want to go to the orchestra and pick something, and so let's just look for possibilities. So I'm going to pick orchestra 1. I don't want that. Saxophone? Maybe. Ah, clarinet. Yeah, maybe. There's another brass variation. Well, that's a brighter brass variation. Maybe I'll take that one. So, alright, so now we're going to save that. So, again, we go through the whole process of push the menu right button, and user program came up, push the menu right button again, and now it came to bank 60, number 8. Well, now I want to save this one in number 9, so I'm going to push the data entry knob in, and it says number 8 in highlight. I want to turn it one click to the right, and now it's number 9, and push the data entry knob in again, and now it says number 1 because that's the title of my previous setting, so I've got to change that to number 2. So I've got to back that out, and let's go enter, and I have to use the back number. Okay, it would be nice if I had a big studio and could show you my screen and all of this stuff, but hey, I'm just working with a single camera here, so you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Alright, so now the numbers, and I've got to pick number 2. Alright, and save. So now when I go back to my user programs, on bank 60, number 8, and when I hit number 9, there's that horn sound, And I'm going to do one more. So I'm going to turn off the user program again. And instead of that bright brassy sound, I remember I had that clarinet sound, and that was pretty good. So I'm going to go back and pick that out. So I have to look for that again. Don't want that. Oh, there it is. That'll work. All right, so let's save that. Now I saved the master accordion was on number 8. That brass sound was on number 9, and I'm going to put the clarinet on number 10. So let's push menu right and use a program and push menu right again and bank 60, and the number 9 came up, and I've got to change it to number 10. Push menu right, and now instead of saying number 2 here for the name of the sound, I'm going to back it out and tell it number 3. And what I mean by 1, 2, and 3 is that's the progression that I'm going to use these registers. I'm going to first start off with register 8, which is the beginning verse, and then the second verse and the third verse. All right, so let's change that to back out. And then numbers, and go to 3 and save. Okay, so now turn back on user program, and so I see that I have got number 60 is the accordion, bank 60, number 8, and hit number 9. There's the brass sound, and number 10. So they're all saved, and so now I can perform my song. I want the brass sound. I want the clarinet. So I know that I walked through that all rather quickly, but it is on, what did I say here, page number 57 rather, in the 8X Owner's Manual, so you can go through those steps much more slowly, but just having me talk you through it, or having seen that how it was done, and then looking at the manual, you'll get a little bit of a hint of how it was done. So in my registers that I did for Can I Have This Dance, I saved those in that same number 60 bank, and I put them on number 6 and 7, so there was the organ sustain. And the guitar sound that I did, I put that on number 7. Makes those complex, the settings that I just did were rather complex. It involves stereo voicing, and if you put on stereo headphones, you will hear that I did stereo voicing for Could I Have This Dance. And also, if you would like the free sheet music for Could I Have This Dance, I have it on the mycrown.net website. It's in the Easy Songbook, and it's song number 17. And also, speaking of the mycrownmusic.net website, is that I have reformulated the website and added a new front page, plus added a page, and on the new page are all the owner's manuals for the 8X and the 4X. So if you want to just find a quick way, if you don't have one of those manuals and you're thinking about purchasing an 8X or a 4X, you can see all of the instructions for the options that you can create with both of these accordions, and all of the functions that are available to you. And I put several of my help videos on that same page to gather everything in one place, so you don't have to go looking all over and searching, and it's difficult to find stuff that way. So now it's all been collected for you. So I hope that you find this helpful, and if you're interested in purchasing a 4X or an 8X from Crown Music, please give Donna Thomas a call at Crown Music. I will put her phone number here on the video, and there's also a contact option on the Crown Music website. So thank you very much for watching today.